matter, open source software, it doesn't matter. If a software is properly designed, if a properly software modularly designed, then that kind of combination is really bad. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Sort of the same way I was trying to say.
Modularity is.
Explain why you say that.
Modularity basically means that when I am developing a software, I am as a team. This is a team I am developing with, and my software will communicate with another module that is being developed by another team in San Francisco. So I will communicate. So I will communicate with San Francisco. That's it. I don't care what are the other modules that are being developed in the system. Okay. So it's very focused development effort, and that's the way the whole software design is managed.
So once you've got the interfaces fairly well settled and how things are going to talk to each other, unless you change that, what happens is within a module, you can change to your heart's content, but it doesn't cause a lot of talking.
There's a closely related concept called encapsulation, which means essentially minimizing the communication. And all you need to know is what they say on the interface. Right. Behind that interface is nobody's business. As long as you
It's
deliver.
not true that there could be a huge amount of stickiness between those two. At the interface, at the point of interface, is it not true that there could be huge stickiness?
It's a contract. Interface is like a contract. Before the developer starts, I make a contract that, okay, this is the input I will give you, and for this is the output you will give me. This is the format of the input and output between my modules, between the communication of my module and your module. And till the end of the product delivery, you and I is to stick with that contract. So that's the modularity.
That interface is actually a logical specification of custodians.
Within, I can understand, but the handoff from you here to the person in San Fran, for example, the handoff, that interface, can that not be highly confused with multiple costs? Lots of needs to clarify if, if the San Fran folks are not expecting to get from my end. You see what I'm saying? That if the interface.
Oh, so are you talking about what happens at runtime versus what happens at design time?
You're talking about two different things.
Yeah.
These guys are talking about a software interface,
Just
which is it either works or it doesn't work.
Right.
And these two things plug or they don't plug.
If you and I look at the same design for interface, I see the types of inputs I can give you, and then you know the type of input I'm supposed to get back. So based on that, here's your data that I'm giving you. You do whatever processing you need to do to get that result back in the form that I expect. That's all it is. It's not a runtime thing.
And with that, I'll come back to the platform, because whether the software is designed modularly or not, whether the software is architected modularly or not, it is nowhere dependent on the platform it is used. The software can use a nice platform like Azure, but that has nothing to do with the design.
Yeah, and I'm using the term platform probably in a different way than you are. I think I mean, platform is I'm using it in kind of a more abstract way, where I'm hearing two. One is the software development platform, which is Rational Roads. Okay, right. Yeah. And the other is the communication platform. Yeah. And all the communications and the archiving and all of them. Yeah. And in SourceWorks, they're kind of together.
No, because when I say Rational Roads, it's not just development platform, it's a platform from design to the delivery. So when you're in the design, they have a platform of communication, they have a platform of then when you go into the development, then you have a platform for bug tracking, platform tracking, assigning the bugs. Then when you go into the software delivery, then there is a platform of the another bug tracking from the customer master and all those things. So it's a platform from end-to-end delivery, from the conceptual phase to the product delivery, and till the product is running the production cycle. So I go back to the point the way you started in the very beginning, that the point of the bazaar, really. And I think what the data that you analyze, the data that your conclusion should be that even if it is open source, the development methodology cannot be bazaar. That should be that will be my conclusion.
The development methodology
cannot be bazaar. can't be everyone is being able.
Right. I think the bizarre is the activity pattern, the fact that this is self-organized, there's no planning, and that's the part of the bizarre. It's not really the development.
That's a key concept that you said, like self-organized.
Yeah. I mean, these developers, I don't care the method of development, but each developer decides what they want to do, when they want to do it. I mean, that's the result. So, and I think, so
To
to
some
the
extent, the definition of these modules is emergent. It's not all pre-planned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, projects are
None of it is
so
pre-planned.
defined.
None of it is pre-planned, but what I think I'm suggesting is that they're emerging such that, and the developers are designing and defining the modules such that there's a minimal interface, such that they can work within them and not have to have
That's
Maybe.
the key point.
Maybe.
Right.
We don't know that. That's a hypothesis.
Yeah, that's why when you look at the commit, and see who did
But
what.
you're asking, let me,
It's a maybe, that's all we're asking.
David, but let me ask you this though. Let's say you had great modularity software, but poor documentation. Why did you see that?
There might be a lot of reasons.
So it's not just, so I mean, I'm agreeing, modularity is absolutely part of the platform, but it's not.
No, if it is a great modular software, then even then you will not see that. What you will see is a lot of communication between two blocks, but not a lot of communication across multiple blocks. Because if it is modular, then you are communicating with very few modules, not with one particular module.
Yeah.
What you might see then would be lines between two dots, but lots of different separate lines between two dots. And very few lines that actually connect to the center.
I hear what you're saying, but I mean, I think you're thinking in terms of the actual coding activities and that development part. But you know, you've also got these beta testers who really are not coding, they're asking questions or suggesting features. So it's that whole picture.
There's a lot more to it,
So some of this cost, so for example, if you have a rule change or maybe the rules for committing are not well understood, there can be controversies of why is this, why is that? It really has nothing to do with coding. It's more like, is this fair, is it not? So all of that's part of the platform.
This is a graph of an active project.
Yes.
Now, you've looked at a number of these graphs.
Yes.
Can you kind of look at a graph and tell us something about what the project is about?
Well, I haven't done that. I mean, does the structure, I mean, this is the social structure. This is, and if you go the other way, you're kind of implying that the other way, you know, there's certain, we're getting the impression that certain social structures are going to be better for certain kinds of projects. Right. Well, so reverse that. Can you look at the social structure and tell us something, was this a highly modular project or was it a less modular? I suppose you could. I mean, you have to know if it's successful or not. I mean, can you say, what kind of project was this one? It was developer targeted, you know, met the study population. Can you tell us what kind of application? I have to do. It was actually DP 500 serve. Oh, thanks.
But it sounds like
But I think it would be tough. I mean, realize when you look at a chart like this, you get a rich visual interpretation. But really, the mathematics are very simple. I mean, closure, you know, that has a closure value. Let me see. Very big. No, it's down. It's down here. But this closure might be 0.15, and that closure might be 0.45. So 0.85. So I mean, it's reduced to a number. It's a measure, but the theories are mostly based on those measures. That's the density measure. That's the notion of closure. And so all this 70 years of theory is really built up not so much around the patterns you see. I mean, we recognize these patterns are really interesting and they do tell us a lot, but to get down to kind of these generalizable ideas, theories, you pretty much, you know, you're pretty much abstracting it to this idea of closure and density. And, you know, greater closure has certain implications, lower closure has certain implications. So that's ultimately what it is. So, I mean, it'd be interesting to do. I've been wanting to kind of lay out all the charts and see if we can see something, but, you know, this was enough work.
The other reason why I was going back to the platform